Are the President's Cup matches tightening up? Welcome to this episode of the Minnesota Left-handers podcast, where hot takes come fast and furious and rarely are right. But we'll see what happens. We got Cam Smith and now Hideki Matsuyama winning the first two events of the year, and it could be that the President's Cup is not the guarantee that it has been for the United States in past years. Now, granted, the United States has quite the crew, a solid group, a solid core, solid group of young guys who seem to buy in and know each other well and play well together. Maybe aside from Patrick Reed, but it's interesting to watch Cam Smith and Hideki Matsuyama, along with Haotong Lee played well. So we'll see what that looks like come President's Cup team selection time in the competition. Going to be a full show today as I have a Sony Open recap, a President's Cup prediction, an official one. Talk about Netflix teaming up with the PGA Tour, and a quick preview of the American Express Championship at the Stadium course at PGA West. The Sony Open concluded in prime time here in Minnesota. Quite the finish. Had a playoff between Hideki and Russell Henley. I don't know if you saw kind of how that ended, but Hideki Matsuyama hitting it to 3 feet from 277 yards on the first playoff hole. Come on. Unreal. Definitely of note. Someone to keep an eye on. The guy, I don't know, every time he hits, he seems to be unhappy with his swing. He's throwing his club, just kind of sulking. And then it goes to 3 feet. It's like, he's way better than his persona would suggest. Other news and notes: Haotong Lee played well. Corey Connors played well. Solo 11 out of Canada. He would compete in that President's Cup as well. So it'll just be interesting to see how that team shapes up. Which leads me to my official prediction. I started the episode with an uh-oh for a reason. For years, the United States has dominated the President's Cup with Cam Smith and Haotong Lee and Hideki Matsuyama. The caliber of play across the board seems to be elevated. Do I think the U.S. will still win? Well, likely, yes, I do. This is a strong group. And, Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, Brooks, Bryce. I mean, it is just too good. But I think the international, I suppose, team is going to make some noise. It won't be the blowout we quite expected it to be. The international team in the past has not quite looked like they have now. And if these guys continue to perform, a strong performance out of the United States might be necessary. On to the Netflix announcement here that came within the last week. It's taken on the golf world, Netflix, with their docuseries set to be released in the near future. It's modeled after and from the same producer as the Drive to Survive, a F1 series. And looks to be like a sort of a day in the life thing that has the power of Netflix behind it, which, there's some funds there. This thing could end up being really, really good. It'll be interesting to see how it sort of manifests itself. It could also end up being overproduced and not as insightful and entertaining. But we'll have to see. Some big names are on it. There's definitely some star power to it. So some of the names of the guys who have committed to the Netflix PGA Tour Series: Joel Dahmen, Tony Finau, Ricky Fowler, Tommy Fleetwood, Sergio Garcia, Max Homa, Harry Higgs, Victor Hovland, Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, Colin Morikawa, Kevin Na, Mito Pereira, Xander Schauffele, Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas. I mean, that's some of them. That's not even all of them. And it's just going to be a real interesting insight. We've got some of the biggest names in golf. One that is conspicuously missing is Bryson DeChambeau. So we'll have to see why that is. Maybe he'll say something about that in the near future here. But I mean, this is going to be a really interesting insight if done well. I'm concerned that Netflix won't do it well. For whatever reason, it just seems like these sort of smaller budget outlets, the Fried Egg, No Lane Up, even Barstool, they seem to do a better job with this stuff than these big producers, Netflix or like Golf Channel does. So we're going to have to see how that pans out. But I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to watch. I will definitely, it will be appointment viewing for me. So it'll be something to keep an eye on. Filming is taking place here in 2022. So I wouldn't expect to see it for quite some time. As far as some of those names I mentioned, I think Victor Hovland will be interesting. I think that'll be one. He'll be one that'll be, worth a soundbite or two. Justin Thomas, I don't know. He's grown into something, worth following. I kind of always viewed him as like the country club kid. I didn't really like him when he was, first coming on the scene, but he's grown into something, and his personality has followed. So Max Homa, as always, I think he'll be a great listen just because we know who he is on Twitter. We know who he was on Get a Grip with Shane Bacon and the work he's done with No Laying Up as well. So he's got the personality for this. Other names, Joel Dahman, I think he'll be great. Maybe his caddy will chime in once in a while. He's definitely a great personality as well. So there's some cool names I'm excited to hear from, and it'll be definitely something to follow. And again, probably not going to get produced or released until the end of the year or into 2023. Twitter's humorous side and its dark side came out this weekend. As far as golf goes, there is a tweet on the screen right now. As I actually just brought it up, Joel Dahman's caddy, Gino Bonali, he took a picture of Joel walking on the fairway with a Mountain Dew, talking about how the Mountain Dew just wasn't, or with a Mountain Dew, and talking about how the hot dog he had at the turn just wasn't cutting it. So, hashtag pro athlete. It's just, golf gives us access to these guys. These guys seem more accessible than just about any other sport because we can be that guy. We can be that person who gets a hot dog and a Mountain Dew at the turn. They're out there doing it, but they're winning, millions. So it's just, golf is accessible in that way, and I love it for that reason. If you're a Twitter user, I suppose, go give Gino a follow. He's got some pretty humorous stuff out there. And then there's Grayson Murray and Kevin Na. Back and forth, I suppose we'll call it. They're back and forth. And tweets are on the screen now. Grayson was giving Kevin Na some crap about slow play. Kevin Na chimed back with, maybe you should make more cuts. Also funny. But I guess it worked for that. I don't know if they're doing it for the PIP or exactly what, but then Grayson Murray just took it too far. I don't know. He added that extra tweet about pulling the old Brooks Koepka and getting themselves on the clock intentionally, and it just seemed kind of out of left field and not really useful. It didn't add much. It kind of lost me. But if you remember, Grayson Murray also had to step away from the game for mental health reasons, and I'm wondering, I don't know if this is kind of him slipping a little bit again. I don't want to speculate, but it just seems like the kind of Twitter outburst that would indicate that there's more there than meets the eye with those two tweets. All right, the stadium course is next. It's the American Express Championship at PGA West. I'll be watching intently because I love this course. The field might be fairly average, but what a cool course. Check out my Instagram for the American Express in pictures. Everything you need to know. just with the mountain views and all that, this is just such a cool course. Everything else you need to know as far as the scorecard, I posted the scorecard. I've got TV schedule and previous winner as well. That's what I have for you this week. Keep an eye on my social media for what I hope to be a few cool pictures. It's Winter Golf Getaway Week. And also check my Substack for a few thoughts on my trip that I will post there. Headed down to Phoenix in a couple of days. Going to play Papago and Action Southern Dunes. We've got the Dunes Day double play. It's going to be a pretty fun day for me. Been looking forward to that. As Minnesota left-hander, I'm here. It's heading below zero here again soon, so I'm hoping to get a little reprieve in Arizona and get refreshed to ride out the rest of winter. We'll see. With that, talk again soon. Thanks for listening.